Nancy does.
Yeah.
Can't read it.
All right. So, welcome to the Pole Truth, you guys. So, I was so excited about this episode show. I don't know what to call it yet. I don't know. So, I've been saying episode. Don't judge me. So, I've been keeping this like hush hush because I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. And it happened, and I'm so excited, and I'm so nervous. So don't judge me, judge your mom if I stumble across my words. But I am sitting here with the most gorgeous, talented Michelle LYNN and Mr. Matt himself. If you've been watching my episodes, then you know I have talked about Matt every single episode and could not wait to get him on the show because I know he has some crazy stories to tell. And he's a jack of all trades. I was like, what are you in this industry?
I've been everything.
Everything.
From general manager, DJ, security, bartender.
You name it, you did it. Okay. So we have I got lucky, I think, because she came to Whispers to feature, and I was like, how awesome is that to have a feature to be able to interview so early in on the show. So I was so excited, but I'm so nervous.
No,
but I'm so excited. So I'm gonna I might jump all over the place, but so this is the one question I ask everybody.
Okay.
And be as truthful as you can. Did you know anything about dancers before you became a dancer? And if you did, what was your view on them?
In the feature world or just dancing in general?
Dancing in general.
No. So I had never even been to a strip club, gentleman's club until the day I started working at one.
Really?
Yeah. I had no idea. I started in LA because I moved to LA when I was 19 and I needed money and a job. And,
right.
You know, I was a waitress and that wasn't cutting it because I was living in LA. And I remember this girl that I worked with actually it was Hooters at the restaurant, and I didn't understand what it was. She was like, yeah, it's a bikini thing. So I was like, okay, I thought it was like a bikini competition. I was like, yeah, I'll go. And I'll never forget the first day I ever walked into one. And at that time, I had a fake ID, and the club that I worked at, they didn't check that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, whatever. And I saw this girl with like really long blonde hair like you, and I'm like 19 years old, and she was like beautiful, tall, and heels, and I was just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I was never stage fright because I've always been a performer.
Right.
And I just remember feeling like, okay, I just want to do stage because I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
I was scared, you know.
Yeah.
And this girl that I saw as I'm walking to the dressing room, she was giving a lap dance, and I was just like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
Yeah, but that's how it happened.
We can say you were super nervous.
I was super nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you answered that question telling that story, how you got into it. You were living in LA, you were being a waitress, just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a lot of the girl's story. What I was doing wasn't cutting it and I needed extra money, and that's how they pretty much got into it.
Yeah, I mean, I live right off Hollywood Boulevard. I'm 19 years old, you know, rent, bills, all that stuff. I don't know. And I moved down to LA to be a performer. And I didn't know
performer. I'm not to cut you off. Performer, as in what?
I wanted just to be on stage.
Okay.
You know, after high school, like I went to college for one semester and it was fine. It just wasn't for me. I'm like, I just want to go to LA.
Right.
And I felt and then I started this job and like I was just working, and I needed money. And then the pole and all of that, I was like so intrigued by it because I wanted to do something in LA as a performer that you had to train in.
Right.
Because you know, every day people move to LA, they're like, I'm hot,
yeah.
I'm a model,
I'm gonna be an actress.
And I was just like, I wanted to do something that someone couldn't do. So I Googled aerial classes, and this awesome circus school came up, and then that's how that happened. Then I joined the circus.
So where are you originally from?
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah. So you left Seattle and came to LA.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got into the circus before dancing.
I got into it at the same time.
Okay, yeah, you did say
Yeah.
that you Googled aerial and you got
Yeah.
into the circus. So you were a part of like a real live circus?
Yeah, like I was in circus school. Like I would go to the club, and then that obviously too. I was like making more money than being
Right.
a waitress on Hollywood Boulevard, and I could make my bills, and then I could afford training, and
Right.
I loved it. Because it was theatrical and it was performance art and it was hard.
Right.
You know, it's like not everyone can just get up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's this industry I would say was my gateway to join the circus because I remember seeing girls go upside down. I couldn't do that.
Right.
Like I could dance and be on stage, but I couldn't like hold my body up. And I
So
was
you were
I
like
wanna learn.
a stunt girl, like those acrobatic girls in the circus?
So I trained in like multiple disciplines because that's how the school was set up, like
Okay.
handstands, contortion, aerial.
Gotcha.
But my main discipline when I was in the circus school was trapeze,
Ooh.
but static trapeze. So the difference is I wasn't flying from one apparatus to another. I was static, so doing tricks on the bar and up in the
Gotcha.
ropes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and how long did you spend in the actual club scene?
In LA.
Well, did you dance somewhere else before you became a feature, or?
Oh yeah, I mean because I've lived all over the country. I've lived in 9 different states.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I move a lot, and I mean I still do house dance too, but outside of featuring. So I mean in total it's been like 13 years.
Okay.
I started featuring in 2018.
Okay. Now, how did you transition into that? How did you learn about that?
So I had a pretty significant injury in 2018, unrelated to this, just an unfortunate situation, and I was like bedridden for a few months. And during my recovery, I would actually listen and write about, what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to get back up on stage. I wanted to do like pole competitions because I had done some before and I wanted to do it again. I wanted to perform. During my recovery, I was Googling like exotic pole competitions or whatever. This video on YouTube called the EDI, which means Exotic Dancer Invitationals, came up and I was like, what is that? And I just started watching, and then which led me to the people who run the ED, Exotic Dancer Magazine, and all that. I'm like, what is this?
So nobody, like no other dancer got you in it, like nothing. I like this about her because she's like, I'm gonna do it on my own. I don't need nobody to show me shit. Like,
That's just how it happened, because I couldn't walk for a couple months. Like I was literally bedridden. I was like, I want to fucking do this. So like, I got in touch with the people who run it. And I was like, listen, I'm recovering right now, but I think I should be ready by June because that was when the competition was. I remember, and I was in the circus. I do aerial stuff, and they put me on. I had no idea what it was though. I had no idea what featuring was because I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was just a pole competition.
Right.
I didn't know it was all these other elements to create a show.
A lot of girls don't know that.
And so when I went on stage, my act, because a lot of our feature shows run between anywhere 10 to 15 minutes or so. My act was 4.5 minutes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And it was good and it was fun.
But it was just too short.
Yeah, I did pole.
Yeah.
I didn't have all the other elements that I had to create a show.
Right.
But then, and I was a newcomer, but then when I saw the showgirls, the girls who've been doing it for a few years perform, I was like,
that's what it's about.
The props.
Yeah. It was like,
and the showmanship and the characters and the costumes.
It was a true competition.
Yep. And I was like, I found it. I found what I want to do.
Listen, I'm still waiting for them to put it in the Olympics because I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Polling is a sport.
Oh, yeah.
If you can find anything on the street that you can climb upside down on and hang from, it's a sport.
And we have all the balloons to show for it.
Yeah. So, did you, I'm trying to figure out how to word it. When it comes to the pole, see, I told you I'm going to call them on my words. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Did you teach yourself the tricks, or was it because of this circus aspect is what taught you?
Kind of both. So okay, yes and no. On slow nights at the club, we had like a smaller stage and we would just like mess around and like do tricks and whatever. So there was that. There was a lot of like self-taught stuff there. However, since I did the circus, there was a lot of like cross training. And then I met this woman who is a professional pole dancer. And I would do, this is when I was still living in LA. I was like maybe 21. I would do privates at her house because I got in touch with her. To me, she had the same sort of style that I like. Very, very slow and controlled movements, like holding your body. And I was like, that's fucking awesome.
I noticed that about you last night.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, she's strong.
Oh, thank you. And she lived in Santa Clarita, which is only about 40 minutes or so outside of LA. So I started doing privates with her. She was also really into the gym. She kind of introduced me to lifting weights and getting into the gym. So it was like this whole thing, all these different elements that got me there.
So please stress to a lot of these girls, especially these new girls, that it's more than just climbing on the pole and really throwing yourself around.
It really is.
Oh, another question. Yeah. Oh, this is perfect to ask you. Oh my gosh. This has been a debate and you guys know that. Do you think a spinner pole is cheating?
I do not. No.
What? I do.
Really?
Yes.
So
why do you think not?
Because I think it's just, there's two different styles, you know, like you can spin there and like look pretty for a second, but you also like, when new girls come to a club and they want to do like all these crazy things because it looks cool and pretty and like spinning, and it's just like, understand the control of your body first. Because you can get thrown off that. Because some of these poles are really fucking fast.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't understand your body and what you're doing, then, yeah, that can be scary.
Yeah.
But for me, like, yeah, no, it definitely gives me a break when I'm out of breath.
Right.
Like, and I'll just do a pose.
Don't get me wrong. I think when a spinner pole, I think it makes a lot of tricks look 10 times more awesome when you're spinning. I'm not taking that away from it whatsoever. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of the, like I said, the new girls or the lazy girls. Go ahead.
It's definitely physically less demanding to use the spinning pole.
I agree with that.
Yes. See, you say it more intelligently.
So you say
than I
cheating. It's more like
it's
easier, especially
it's easier. Yeah. Because
you can spin, but like if you were like, you're right in regards to like you can spin and do nothing.
Yeah, like I said, any girl can climb on there and strike a pose and the pole will spin them.
Right.
But it takes a difference with someone like you to get on there and hold their strength while spinning. Like somebody has to see it to understand it.
Yeah, because when you're spinning and you're moving, you have to realize what your body's doing. You're moving your hands. But I do understand, like, if you're not up in the air, you're just kind of spinning.
Well, because, you know, most of the girls just stand there and, like, put one leg up and they just spin around. Right. You, on the other hand, you're upside down, one leg, one arm, holding on with your thigh, putting your hair in a ponytail, putting on lipstick.
Yeah, making spaghetti, ordering food, you know, talking to my mom.
She's got that. I've been a pole girl. I love it. That was always my zhish. But I could never do, like, what are they called? Like the handsprings.
Oh, yeah.
For the life of me, I could never do that.
So it does require strength, but there's also a trick to it. It's a lot of balance.
Yeah. So it's that kickoff.
And like
you gotta get that kickoff.
Well, what helps me too is, and I just remember I was actually taught this, and it does help. And what I mean by balance is like when you're up there like this. Well, I have this hand up. If you look at your bicep, at least for me, it kind of just like clicks in. You know, you kind of just feel like I could stay up there forever just because I turn my head a certain way, like balance in an invert or whatever.
Yeah, and I also think I took a lot of one-on-one classes. What was her name? Alethea Austin.
Oh yeah,
I did 3 one-on-one classes with her, and I learned so much. Just my first class with her, I learned so much. And I thought I knew everything from being in the business 15 years. And then I meet, you know, a pole feature that's champion. I'm like, wow, I didn't really fully understand how much core and how much strength really goes into it, especially a competition.
Yeah.
Because I've always been, Matt's known me for years. I've always felt like I put on a show. I've always been like stood outside of everyone else. Like
Yeah.
I've always had like the costume and the music.
You were always definitely a step above the average.
Yeah, because I don't care if there's one guy or if there's 30 guys, they're still watching you.
That's how I've always felt.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've always been like, don't get me wrong, I have my lazy nights,
Yeah.
but I always felt like you have like put on a show.
Mhm.
And a lot of girls back in my day, featuring a lot of girls thought it was just like a pole competition,
Mhm.
but they really don't understand the money that goes into it, the practice that goes into it, the outfits, the matching of the music, and it's putting a routine together.
Yeah, absolutely. And even too, how you were saying, like everything that goes into it, the practice. If you don't do it, like if I don't do it for a couple weeks, then your skin even like you can feel it. Like pole burn is real.
Yes.
You know, so it's keeping that condition
Yeah,
too, because
yeah.
it is so like it will take months and months to like get something or whatever, but it only takes a couple weeks for your body to atrophy like all those feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was telling when you were after you got off the stage last night, your first show, we were in the dressing room and one of the girls was like, how does she do that? And I was like, practice. And I was like, when I was learning a pole trick, I would learn two.
Mhm.
One that I would get into, and one to transition from that one to the second one. And I said, I wouldn't do it on the stage until I did it 3 times back to back without any kind of hesitation,
Yeah.
without losing a grip, without thinking.
Making it perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, that was my thing that I did. I said, everybody's different, but
Mhm.
that was my thing. And I tell the girls, I'm like, you guys be in here. Don't get me wrong, you're dancers, you're supposed to make money. I said, but when there's nobody in here, you guys sit in the corner in a little group, like a gang, oh my God, there's nobody in here.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. But then you guys bitch about, oh, well, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? But you have a whole hour in here where there's nobody in here. You could be on stage practicing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of just that's how I started.
Yeah.
Just dinking around on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the girls I know were like, I would just bullshit on one of the side stages, and that's what I did.
Yeah. And then, it just progresses. And like for me too, because I could physically feel myself. I was like, I can do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I can invert, and then you let go, and then you go back, and then you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't want to stop.
Yeah.
It's liberating.
So what are the pros and cons of being a feature?
The pros are, the thing about this industry and being a feature in this industry too is it's your show. I never like when someone can tell me like, look like this, don't look like this, do this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's different audiences depending on wherever you're at in the country, but it's my show. It's my vision. It's my look. It's my music. Because that's another thing too. Music's really important to me. I have to hear it, And I love that. You can be anyone you want to be in this industry. Yeah. And that was another thing too. Like when I'll never forget this. This is like a little side note. I lived in LA and I just remember, this was outside the industry, but I just remember, I don't know who it was, some like LA person being like, don't get tattoos and all this stuff. And I'm just like, but this is who I am.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like when people tell you how you should look and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The cons are just like, you get tired, like, yeah, it's just, sometimes you have those 7 a.m. flights and then you have to perform that night or whatever, or, it's just, it's on the road. And then trying to find like the good diet or whatever while you're on the road and you're just like, oh my God, have I been up for 24 hours or 3 days? I don't know, but that doesn't matter because the show must go on. Right. Yeah.
Now, do you feel like you really have to love this industry to really put your all into it?
I do, and especially as featuring, you do. Yeah, you have to put your heart and your soul, your everything into it, or it's just. And I feel like the audience can feel that because energy is everything.
Yeah.
And if you're just cut,
I was going to say, I'll qualify that statement with yes.
Yeah.
You need to put everything into it if you want to have any kind of longevity or success.
Yeah.
Like you could pop into a half-ass job. The crowd's going to know.
Yeah, they are.
You'll never get another booking.
Right. And that's the thing too, is it's like, if you're yelling on stage or, you're thinking about like, oh, fuck this shit, or like this happened to me in my personal, the audience doesn't really care. Yeah. Because you're a character and you're a performer and they came to see a show. Right. So yeah, I do agree.
Is it hard to get a double booking back to the same club?
No, I think it depends on the person. I think, if you do your job and you're not a problem and you fulfill your contract and you're entertaining, yeah, they're going to want you back. But if you are a problem and you complain or you're in the dressing room and you're just like,
Yeah.
Or you're
then-
drunk or you're
yeah,
high.
drunk,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
would they want to hire you
Yeah.
again? Just like any other like real job. Like, you show up and you're, shitty.
Keywords there.
Yeah.
Real job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not just that, but house dancing. It's a real
Mhm.
fucking
It
job.
Yeah.
And girls
Absolutely.
today just don't treat it that
Oh yeah.
And they
People
don't.
think because we go to work at 8 o'clock p.m. and
Right.
get off at 2, it's like a party. It's a club where, and I'm like, no, I'm
Right.
standing on my feet in 9-inch heels all goddamn night.
Right. And that's the thing too, is just like, this is how we pay our bills. This is how we feed our families. This is how we live. We just don't maybe clock in or whatever.
Right.
But it's,
I mean, technically
Right.
we do clock in.
oh yeah, or, whatever, or yeah, every club is different, but it's a real job. If you just come here to fuck around, it's just not gonna work. It's
Yeah.
not gonna last.
I always say when I came into the industry, I didn't come in 10 toes down.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I was so young. I was 17. Just like you, I didn't
Yeah.
baby. But I didn't know what it was. I was scared shitless. But I got caught up in the bullshit. Matt knows I had a drug addiction. And if you were looking for sunshine, she was in the bathroom getting high.
Yeah.
That was a part of my routine for
Mhm.
a while. But if I really took a step back
Yeah.
to really know why, because honestly, I really didn't get in the business because I needed money or anything of the sort. It was like a fluke thing. And then something happened personally in my family and I had to help someone and that's where it kicked in, but it wasn't until a little bit later. But I didn't have a set reason of why going in there. And I think that was my downfall. I didn't have a reason to be in there to get the money that I was getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's an issue with some of the new girls. I think they come in and they don't have a reason.
Yeah, I was 19 and I've had those nights too where I'm just I just felt like drinking.
Yeah.
I've definitely had a.
No, hold on. So not to cut you off, was there a time when you were dancing where you feel like you had to be drunk, like in the beginning of your dance career? Or like you had,
You mean to get up the nerve?
to get up the nerve to dance or like to do a couch dance or to do a VIP?
Not so much get up it was more just kind of I don't know. I was young.
Yeah.
And I just was yeah, or just, or fuck this dude, or
Yeah.
or I just want to take shots with my friend. Cause
Yeah.
in Hollywood I lived with one of my best friends and it was easy. I lived on Hollywood Boulevard. We could walk to the club.
Yeah.
And there's bars all down Hollywood
Yeah.
Boulevard. So it's just fuck it, we're just here.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were those times.
Yeah. I mean, because most girls say I had to be drunk or I had to be high to get on stage, because they were self-esteem issues or they were scared or.
See, for me,
But you said you were used to being on
yeah,
stage.
I love
That's
being on
what
stage.
you wanted.
And if
So
someone pissed me off at the club, I would go up to DJ and I'd put me on fucking stage because I didn't want to deal with anyone.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the stage is kind of and it still is my safe space.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Your release.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes me feel alive.
Yeah.
I can literally be out here and just we're talking whatever, but on stage it's just bleh, I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, I have that one song that I dance to where I just close my eyes my whole set and I don't even realize there's people here.
Yeah.
It's just that one song that you have that just blacks you out and you're just in a zone.
You lose yourself.
Yeah. So I feel like we're leaving Matt out of the conversation.
That's good with that.
Well, I got to talk to her last night a lot. We did a lot of talking last night. I was like, we gotta stop talking because I'm not gonna have anything to ask you tomorrow. But I felt like we hit it off. That was really awesome. You were so down to earth. You're so dope. But I have came to find out that you guys have been friends for quite a long time. So who's gonna tell the story of how you guys became friends?
Well, I'll tell you how we met.
Yeah. Okay. He'll tell us how you met, and then you tell us how y'all became friends.
Okay.
So, as you know, I've I have a different feature that I particularly enjoy.
Yes.
So not only is she my best friend, and we actually booked her, not Michelle, but this other feature. It's how I met her. We hit it off. I started roadieing for her, so I would go to different bookings with her. You'd be surprised. Sometimes clubs don't have someone assigned
Oh yeah.
to help the
Yeah.
feature.
I've noticed that.
So it makes it easier for her because I know what the shows are. It makes it easier for the club. They don't have to
Right.
down a man or bring in an extra payout.
Right.
But part of the feature scene is there are competitions. And one of the bigger ones is the Feature Dancer National Championships. And
I've always wanted to go to that.
It's held in conjunction with the Pole Dancer National Championships, which Michelle is the reigning Pole Dancer National Champion. But yeah, for 2 years in a row at FDNC, where my charge and I would set up was right next to her.
Okay.
So, and then of course you're together in a dressing room for 3 days, and so we all chat amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's where we met, and that was at Candy's Playground, Candy's Adult Playground in Waterford, PA, just outside of Erie. And traditionally, we would leave Candy's, and the only thing open, the only thing that, like, if you wanted to grab a bite, was there was an IHOP near the contest hotel. So we would all go over to IHOP.
I have some food.
Yeah, especially at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A night.
And there was a bunch of us. It was
Yeah.
a big group. But the way we wound up being seated, it was like there was the cool kids table where all the featured friends and, you know, that group.
Yeah.
And then there was another table with just my girl, me, and Michelle. So Michelle, unfortunately, didn't get to sit with the cool kids.
I think that's the cool thing.
But
listen, you make your own cool table.
Yeah.
I will let her take it from there.
So I don't remember what I ordered, but it was like breakfast. I always like to eat breakfast at my house. I don't even think I've ever had anything other than breakfast.
Right.
Toast comes with breakfast. Wheat, rye, sourdough, English muffin, whatever. And then the waitress was like, "Do you want a tortilla?" And
yeah, not your normal bread choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And she brings this tortilla, and we were just laughing because it was literally like paper, and we were ripping. I'm like, "What kind of tortilla?" I mean, has it been in
folded it in half,
the back
folded
since
in half
1947? Yeah.
So it was like quartered, you know, like a little wedge of tortilla.
So you couldn't even put anything
Then
in
they
it.
cooked it.
Yeah.
Oh
And it
Lord,
was
with
just-
nothing in it.
No.
Right.
Oh hell.
And it became a joke, and then I had a feature competition close to where he lives, and he come to see my show, and he brings me a tortilla blanket. And yeah,
That sounds like that.
Yeah. And you know, we became friends, and then, you know, fast forward to right after COVID, or kind of when things were starting to open again, there was a competition. He came down for the competition. It was in Alabama. My mom actually came to the show, so he met my mom. My mom loves him, so now he's part of the family.
Right.
Yeah. So now you know that's how that goes.
Yeah. That was another question I was going to ask you. How does your family feel? Not to cut you off, but do either one of you feel like there's a difference in the feature community and house dancing?
What do you mean by difference? Because no, in that the types of people that you have as features are the same type of people that you have as
Yes,
house.
but do you think people look at either category differently? Do you think some people go, "Oh, you're a house dancer, you're a whore, oh, but you're a feature, you're good because you don't do what they do"?
It's been my experience at bookings. Most people don't know what a feature is.
Right.
They think this house dancer has gone the extra mile
Mm-hmm.
for,
Right.
because even though like the club will promote the feature coming in,
Mhm.
posters, flyers, social media stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and probably 80% of the customers that are in on any given feature night don't know there's a feature.
Right.
So it's really,
I would agree, and people that I've talked to of like, the structure of a show too. There's mostly everyone, not 100%, but mostly. They're just like, I didn't even know that was a thing in this industry. Like, costumes and a performance.
Right.
They just don't know. They think it's all just, we wear bikinis and, data chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I was asking that is because I was going to get to the question of your family knowing
Mhm.
if what you did, and were they more okay with it because you were a feature and not a house girl?
So, well, because I started as a house girl.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't start featuring until I was 28. So
Mhm.
that's almost 10 years later after, being 19 or whatever. So when I started featuring, I mean, they were all, because I mean, they already knew I was a house girl for,
Right.
my family. I've always, I am lucky in this regard. I've always had a supportive family.
That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. The ghost.
Oh, Sapphire says, Matt.
But I always, and I think it's just because they know how I am. Like I've always wanted to perform. I always was kind of that person. Even when I moved to LA, I'll never forget my dad said, like, I always saw this coming. He said that to me, when I first started house dancing, they're like, yeah, I did break it to my mom first. It's my mom,
Yeah.
My mom and I are very, very close. We're like the same
Yeah.
person. But and I think all the training, I send them clips of me practicing and all this stuff. They know like what it is and what
Yeah.
I, you know what I mean? And I made them like understand more because I mean my parents are medicine, so they're not like performers at all,
Right.
So and just kind of what it all is. And so then when I did start featuring, I am, like I said, I am very fortunate to have a supportive family, but they thought it was awesome. They think too. It's like
That's so
it's
cool.
what the industry needs,
Yeah.
and it brings a different element to the industry for
Now,
sure.
you can tell me if I'm overstepping, and you don't have to answer. Do you think that you disappointed them because you didn't become a
doctor or
no?
lawyer
Like, well, she
or
said she wanted to be like
a
on stage, a
performer.
Yeah.
performer. So like, if you did like a ballet dancer
Mhm.
or like something of the sort, do you think you
No,
disappointed them?
I don't. I think it took a while for my dad to understand,
Mhm.
because I mean my dad he's almost 70, and so
Yeah.
he's old school, like whatever.
Stuck in his ways.
Yeah, but he never was just like, oh, like, I just think,
He was willing to learn.
he was,
to
and he
understand.
wasn't, yeah, he wasn't like, oh, whatever. My mom's a whole other story. My mom was just like, that's great. Like, my mom's like 4'11" and like 100 pounds. She's like,
Yeah.
I want to be your security. Like, and she's like, yeah. So she was, and like, because I remember, especially when I was younger, feeling that way. Sometimes, I'm like, because yeah, there's been dark times. It's not like sunshine and rainbows all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm just like, why am I like this? Like, why did I like, I had, I could have done what everybody else did, like how I grew up, whatever. Like, why am I like this? And my mom has always just been like, and I've cried, I fucking cried. And she's like, don't say that. Like, so I've always had, she's always been my biggest cheerleader.
That's
my
awesome.
mom. Yeah.
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 Yeah, my mom used to come in the club. I used to be so, she used to cheer on the side, like we were at a football game and I was a cheerleader. She's like, that's not the order. And I'm like, that's not something you cheer at, Mom.
That's my mom. Yeah, no.
100%.
Even when I was a house girl, like this is when I was like 20. I'll never forget this. I was living in a studio on Hollywood Boulevard by myself, and she comes down during Thanksgiving to come visit me. And we made like a turkey and meatballs, and we brought it to the strippers at the club because
cool.
they had to work on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like I'm Italian,
and
that's
people
how my
don't know
mom
that
is.
either.
Yeah.
We have to work on holidays.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Or and like people that have more of a 9 to 5 job and weekends off, they don't understand like extended families like aunts, uncles. They're like, I don't get it. It's just like, well, that's the kind of life it like you're on the road or you're performing. Like I don't have Saturday night off or whatever. Like they just it's hard for people to understand when they're not in it.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers?
I have a brother.
Younger, older?
He's younger.
Younger?
He's 2.5 years younger than me. And
What did he feel about it?
so because when I was 19, he was still like 16.
Yeah.
He was still in high school when I started or whatever. But me and him have always been close. And again, because he was so young, I just don't think he like understood.
Mhm.
But he's never been like, you know, what the fuck, Michelle, or anything like that. Like me and him have always been close.
Yeah.
We're like the same but different, you know.
Right.
So and again, I think, you know, as he's gotten older, and I'm very open, and I'm close with my family. I just explain things, you know, and even when I was living in LA, he would come and visit me sometimes, not at the club because that's weird, but like, you know, just whatever, just what my life was.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. So, COVID. When COVID hit, did it affect you much? Like not only.
Oh my god, sorry, yeah. I'm not getting choked up on my
You're
family.
good.
I was just getting excited. This is what happens. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
COVID. Yeah, look, now I'm like crying. No.
Did it affect you? You don't have to like get in all depth with your finances.
Yeah.
But did it affect you financially, and did it affect you in the future business? Was it because a lot of clubs all the clubs shut down, right? Damn near. Well, they were supposed to.
Yes, they were supposed to.
But did you
Or mentally, how was it? Know
Yeah.
that you couldn't.
Yeah.
No. It like, I mean, I know it affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. For me, it turned my whole life upside down.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, like, it changed so many things. It was, and you know, I think at that time too, the whole country and everyone, we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we'll close for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Everyone thought we were going to be like, that's a couple weeks.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. I can
2
use
weeks
this
to
sense.
flatten the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's fine. We were working hard. We'll close for a couple weeks. I could use it. I could use the time off. And then a couple weeks turned into a couple months.
Yeah.
And then turned into like pretty much almost 2 years.
Yeah.
All the shows were canceled. Clubs were canceled. I also have a boyfriend. I have a significant other in this industry, so it affected his job.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the girls, whether feature or house girl, figured out something internet wise, whether it was, not saying you're on OnlyFans, but a lot of them turned to OnlyFans. A lot of them did like private shows in their via video. A lot of them did what's the word I'm looking for? Personal like one-on-one classes. Some of them did exercise classes. Did you do any of that to decide anything?
So especially when the gyms were closed, I did have enough stuff at home to keep like training ish, you know, not as good. But I'm not an internet person, so I didn't do that. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Like as far as like only.
I mean, because you had enough notches under your belt to where you can you can put like, girl, sign me up. I'm there.
Thank you. But you know, it was an interesting time for me. Because I still loved performing, but the way it was going and, you know, the big internet, you know, thing, like it, you know, boomed because no one had to work, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was having crazy feelings of like, do I even want to keep doing this? Is this the way it's going?
Really?
Because I like the live. I'm a performer. I like the audience or whatever. I didn't want to do anything online. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just didn't know where it was going. So I ended up doing something completely different during COVID, especially during the shutdown. Like, I went to culinary school.
I was about to touch on that. I was going to say, she's not only a feature, but she can cook too, okay? She's a winner and a keeper.
Yeah. Food over here.
This got me wet.
No.
Made me hungry.
Yeah.
Listen.
You know, and but like I missed performing. You
Yeah.
know, that's always been who I am. I again like I practice at my house. I mean, when the gym started opening, I went to the gym and whatever. But it was it was kind of like I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you scared to go back out in the world after they were saying, you know, you guys are allowed to go back out as long as you wear a mask and so on and so forth?
Not so much like scared, but more just kind of like what's happening to this industry now? Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Because there was a shift,
Mm-hmm.
and I still think, you know, we're going through it right now of, you know, what's expected or what the customers want,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Um, it just felt different.
Yeah.
The club felt different.
Yeah, it was
And,
definitely weird.
yeah, talking to people felt different. It's like everyone was feeling the same thing, but no one could say it.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know, I remember too when it first started opening back up, for like dances and stuff, people were asking me if I was vaccinated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, you're the fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know, like,
right.
you know, you want to lap dance or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
know,
come on,
let's
dude.
not talk about this
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Like if you have balls enough to come in here,
Right.
don't ask me if I'm fucking vaccinated.
Right, like we're gonna have this conversation right now. I
You
haven't
can
been
catch
in
a
work in
whole lot of
couple
other
years.
shit.
Yeah.
Saying it like
Right. I've been in my house, like I'm just trying to go to work, and now you want to talk, you know. So
Yeah.
it was just weird. But yeah, you know, and kind of like how I was saying, like we moved because when I was living in Pittsburgh at the time,
One
COVID
of my
happened.
favorite cities.
Oh, really?
Yes. Pittsburgh Steelers fan all day.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
Steelers. Yeah. And that it took a really long time, for that to open.
Yeah.
So like I kind of mentioned, I do have a significant other in this industry, so he had an opportunity to go to within the same company to a club in Florida. And you know how Florida was during the COVID.
Oh yeah.
So and in my mind, I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like let's get the fuck out of Pittsburgh. And so we went down there. Very different, you know, than whatever. But it was just a lot of different things, and I think we were trying to find is, you know, him too of like where do we go from here
Yeah.
in this industry with what's going on in the
Right.
world right now. You know, me as a feature, him as like a general manager, and then like us as a couple in the industry. I'm like, where do we want? And it was just kind of like, you know, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any plans to retire anytime soon?
Not so the way I kind of look at things, it's not that I like don't make plans or don't have goals, but I try not to like one of the questions that and I'm not saying you're asking this, but you know, you always like talk to those jagoffs that like in the club are like, what's your 5-year plans? I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I hate that question.
question.
Yeah, it's just like anything can happen. Like,
Yeah.
and the way my life is too, it's just anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right now, no. I love what I'm doing. I love being on the road. I have really awesome things coming up on, you know, show concepts and everything. And it's just that feeling. I'm just not ready to give up. Like,
Yeah.
I love performing so much. But, you know, kind of touching back with the culinary thing, I don't know really where I want to go with it. I love it so much.
I was going to ask you a
Yeah.
little trick question
Mhm.
there. So if you had the opportunity
Mhm.
to be a sous chef to like Guy
Mhm.
or be a head chef in a restaurant, would you stop featuring to do that?
So that's the thing is even when I enrolled in culinary school, I don't want to work in a restaurant. I really don't. Like
Yeah.
my internships are great and all that. I interned at country clubs, but you know, I would love to own something. I know like you need a lot of capital for that. If anyone wants to invest, I'm just joking. I think I have a pretty cool concept. No, but like, you know, because it's still what culinary for me is it's still artistic.
Gotcha.
And it's still like chaotic. Like working in the kitchen's fucking chaotic, you know,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I can't sit down.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't. You know, like it's funny. I always like equate it to H&R Block. You know, like when I go and do my taxes, and it's so quiet in there, and they have like
Yeah.
their little like. I would kill myself if
Yeah.
I had to work in a
Oh,
place
yeah.
like that. That's fine if people want to do that, but
Right.
like, I just am not set up that way.
Yeah.
You know, I need like, bleh, like whatever. And I need something to be artistic.
Right.
And for me, cooking is artistic, but I don't want to, like, after this, I don't want to work 12 to 14 hours in a restaurant. I know you got to start something. I get that, but it's just, I'm in my mid-30s right now, and it's just, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of take it as like, I'm performing right now. I'm loving what I'm doing right now. And I just think anything can happen. Like, you know, I'm open to stuff. I know I'll move again. I live in Indiana right now, and I know I'm not going to stay there forever. And, you know, I just think I'll know when I know of when it is time to retire and just kind of move on to whatever it is I'm supposed to move on to.
Right.
That's just kind of how I
You're like me. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever the wind blows,
Yeah,
that's what we'll do.
exactly. And it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, I have goals, but I don't have like a time like, okay, by the year 20.
Yeah, see, I don't
30,
like that shit
I don't
either.
like it because things happen. I mean, COVID's a perfect example.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Do
know?
you put time limits on yourself?
No.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
You can
but
only
like,
control so much.
yeah, I can't
Yeah.
be, I can't, I've
Yeah.
never been that person.
Like, I think we, as a society, put so much of like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you are supposed to live your life. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, you just set yourself up for disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you die and then you're like, but did you really do what you wanted to do?
Right.
Yeah.
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 I totally agree.
Yeah.
And we're not just speaking her being a chef because we're saying she's a chef. Like did you win a contest?
I did, and this was actually during COVID. So this was, I mean, in the times of being in the house, and you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing? What day is it?
Right.
I entered this contest. This is actually kind of what prompted me to go to culinary school because I got inspired. So this was actually right before I enrolled in school. And it was something that I was kind of always considering because I love the whole process. I even like going to the grocery store. I like picking out
going to the grocery store.
I like picking out my ingredients. You know, like this goes with this.
I like
this
picking out snacks.
Yeah, snacks. Yeah, snacks are good. I like the process.
Can I tell you a secret?
Of course.
Don't tell the rest of the world, but I can't cook for shit.
I'll cook for you.
I can barely boil noodles. I'm surprised. Listen.
Well, here's a tip. If I'm going to give you any culinary tip right now, if you boil noodles, never forget to salt your water.
I do that.
Okay, that's good.
And I put oil in it. Am I supposed to put oil in it?
That's kind of a myth.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I've been dabbing oil in it, thinking I'm doing something.
That is a myth.
So what? Are you supposed to break your noodles?
No.
Damn it, I've been breaking all my noodles down. I've been breaking them into like 4 little.
Especially in an Italian house. Like, I mean, if you have a pot that's like, you don't really have a choice, right? Because then they won't cook evenly if some are sticking out raw, right? But yeah, no, and especially Italians, like if they break their noodles, it's just like,
oh, I know, yeah, they get serious about their cooking. They do not play.
No, they
I know how y'all are. Listen.
I know, sorry, girl, no.
Yeah.
But
that's one thing I do
I'll
know.
just sit and wait. If it's in the pot sticking out, I'll sit and wait till the bottom softens and I'll fold it in.
yeah.
I'm not breaking the noodle.
I don't have the patience. I'm like, fuck the shit. I'm breaking, like, I don't even wait for the water to boil. I throw them motherfuckers in there.
Yeah, no, you have to. It's kind of like putting something in the oven when it's not preheated. It won't cook right.
Listen, I have been fortunate enough to every mate I have had can cook.
Mm-hmm.
They all have taught me something. Now, Crystal loves my greens. I have good days and I have bad days. But my fear in cooking is I'm going to over season or I'm not going to season enough.
Mm.
That's always been the argument with everybody I've been with in a relationship. They're like, how much did you put in there? I'm like, I didn't know what to do.
So here's another tip. Salt and pepper goes a long way.
I know, but you know
it
what
really
I hate?
does.
I hate when people's like, oh, well, you gotta put your love into it. You gotta put your foot in it. And like, that's grandma shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a new school mom. Give me McDonald's, kids cuisine. You're throwing them, corn dogs wrapped in bread. 55 seconds in the microwave. We're good to go.
Well, you can prep a lot of things.
I don't have the patience. Listen, I'm being honest with you.
I'll do it.
I don't.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love to bake though.
Baking's fun.
My
I like
brother,
baking.
I can make a mean ass chocolate chip cookie.
I like making cupcakes.
I do. I like making cupcakes.
Because
too.
I like piping.
See, I don't know how to do all that shit.
Oh, see, it's fun for me.
Look, I told you. Remember, last night I told you I was a DIYer. I bought all the shit to do all that. You know, maybe it's birthdays and stuff. I attempted it. I got 3 cupcakes in. I was like, nope. I literally threw it over my shoulder. I was like, I'm not doing this shit. That's not meant for me.
You know, we all have our things.
Yeah.
You know?
So I have a cake girl.
Okay.
I call her. I place my order.
There you go.
She delivers it, and then I act like I made it.
Yeah, that's fine. I won't tell anyone. Yeah.
No, but I, you know, being a chef I always thought it was amazing for people to do, because for you to put ingredients together and make it taste good, you got to be good.
It's
How
cool to
good
see it
was
come together.
Let's hear more about the contest.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was actually in the year 2020, and you know, I'm just sitting in the house. So, you know, we all got our shows that we got into, right? There was a few that my boyfriend and I got into, but one that I just loved watching was Guy Fieri's grocery games.
I haven't watched
Oh,
that.
it's so cool. Like he has all these like, you know, twists and turns. And
Is
tricks
it like
or
the
whatever.
old school show?
He has diners, drive-ins, and
I love
dives.
that
There's
show.
that one, but he
Is
has
it
like
the one where they're actually running around?
Yeah, they're running
the grocery
around,
store.
yeah.
What was it? What was that called back in the day? What the
um,
hell was that called?
there was one called Supermarket Sweep.
That's the one I'm
okay.
thinking about.
It's a little. So this is his, and like, it's a real grocery store, but like made like for the show, you know. And then he has different things. So like, you know, sometimes like one episode will be all based on like cheese or whatever, right?
Gotcha.
So then there's these dips. They're called Hell of a Good dips. Like whatever. There's like buffalo or ranch thing, whatever. But the brand is called Hell of a Good.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah, they're hella good. Guy Fieri paired with them for this competition. And the competition was you have to make a fully loaded snack. Now, I was like, fuck it, you know? Like,
No, but hold on. What does that consist of? A fully loaded snack?
I'll tell you. So since I watched the show a lot during COVID, Guys Grocery Games, I know how his thing sort of is. Like, you can't just like slap it on there, but you had to incorporate the Hell of a Good dip in the snack.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Then you could do anything. So what I did was I did a fried chicken sandwich with fries, like a fully loaded snack. But I elevated it because again, like I knew it wasn't just like, okay, taking a knife and spreading the dip on there. I ended up putting, I made like a slaw out of it. I put horseradish into it. I was cutting shallots, like stuff like that.
Putting work into it.
Yeah, I was putting work into it. You know, I did the fried chicken. I cut potatoes like, and I fried my own like for fries, and I fried my own French fries. You know, I didn't buy them like frozen. Like
I love
like
that. I love a homemade French fry.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
And I got a ring light. That's the thing. Like I used a ring light because I wanted to make the picture look really good and like the presentation really pretty. And then I won. And I was like, and they called me, they're like, yeah, you, and I was like,
how
what?
the hell did that make you feel?
I was like, really?
So they didn't even like taste it or try it?
They didn't taste it, no, because it was still COVID, and that was another thing.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, but the prize, I mean, I had to explain what I did and all the ingredients and stuff, but the prize would have been in person too to meet him. However, it was over Zoom because of
bullshit.
COVID.
I would have been like, we need to postpone this until COVID is over.
Yeah, I know. But that still was cool. Like, I mean, I got like a signed cookbook from him, but the coolest thing was I got to do a Zoom and meet him over Zoom. And we were talking, you know, his son actually came into the screen because he was at his house doing the Zoom. Yeah. His son actually started following him on Instagram after that. Yeah. No, but it was really, really cool to talk to him and, you know, about cooking and like, and again, this was in October 2020. So like the majority of things, and I think he lives in LA. So, you know, it's like, there's no like, you can go to LA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, it was just really awesome. And to see this and like come together, and I was just like, okay, I really think I'm gonna do it. And then by February 2021 I enrolled in culinary school. But it was
awesome.
He's a really nice guy. He's super like, he's a family person, you know, and he was asking me about like my life, and then I could ask him anything, and then cooking. And since I was still sort of figuring things out. I remember I was asking him questions of like, okay, well, how do you do this? And
Right.
It was only supposed to be a half hour, but he ended up going over. I think it was like ended up 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, once you get in the conversation,
Right.
you know,
And he
you
was
can't
nice.
help
Like
it.
he wasn't like one of those like, oh, well, I did what I had to do.
Right.
Like he didn't do that.
Like he had a timer sitting next to the damn computer. Like
Right.
time's up.
No, it was really awesome.
Yeah. Man, if I would have won that, I would have went out and bought a chef hat, a whole jacket. I was like, yeah.
So like for school, they sent me a chef jacket, and I had like, cause for my school, like we had to wear that for like our assignments and stuff like that. So.
See, I would have walked in there, I'm like,
yeah.
I won. Y'all ain't got shit on me.
It was,
I would have walked in there cocky as shit.
I wanted
That's
to
just
learn.
my personality, you know.
I get it. It was funny. Yeah.
I'm like, I won, and I didn't even have to. They didn't even taste it. That tells y'all.
I really want to be on the guys like grocery game show. Like
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Fun,
Well,
yeah.
I used to watch the older one back in the day. I didn't know he had one out, but like I said, I watched his Diner Dives, and
yeah.
he went to Baltimore, and me and my son's father went to the 3 restaurants that he went to over there and tried it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to do.
That's cool. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's like a whole other part because of my life where it's like how I put, my shows and it's artistic. It's the same thing with food.
Yeah.
Having it come together.
Yeah.
And creating things. And there's so much you can do. Like,
you got me hungry.
Yeah, I know. Like, let's eat. No.
I know. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
And I don't want no regular Italian food now. I want homemade Italian food.
Yeah.
That nasty ass Olive Garden.
Oh gosh, yeah, no.
I hate when my friends are like, "Where you want to eat Olive Garden?" Who the fuck eats at Olive Garden?
The Italian sizzler.
Like, who the fuck? Like, don't you ever say
I'll have
Olive
to
Garden
make
to me.
you some
Listen,
homemade, from
one
scratch.
thing I like to do is eat.
Yeah.
Don't let this little body fool you. I like to eat.
I love to I make a lot. I like working with not everything, but I like a lot of things to be homemade. Even I don't always do this, but if we have old bread, you make breadcrumbs, stuff like that. It's fun for me.
I'll let everybody else do it. I'll just sit back and watch it.
I even like hosting.
Just give me the junk food. I love hosting. I do love doing that. I do. I'm a sucker for a good shindig.
Yeah. Sitting at the table.
I am. I really am. Yeah. I like that. I do like doing that.
Yeah. Actually, my buddy, he lives in Boston and he moved into this new house or whatever. And in May, he's like, "Do you want to cater?" I mean, he's like, "So I'm going to cater his housewarming party." And I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Actually, at the airport coming here, I had my little notebook and I was writing down
everything
menu.
down. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're about that time. Plus, we're about to open soon. If y'all didn't notice, we're in Whispers to this evening.
I'm seeing you tonight.
Yes, she is. Tonight is her last night in town. She will be in 2 shows tonight.
Yes.
Don't ask us what time.
My last night in town.
Yeah.
Come see me.
Come fuck with Matt.
Yeah.
We like to have a couple drinks. We like to laugh.
Drink tequila. No.
And crown.
Yes, and crown.
And money.
And money.
Bring money first.
And all the fun things. And it's my birthday tomorrow.
So. It is her birthday tomorrow. So we are definitely going to be celebrating tonight. I
had
got a little bit lit last night.
Hair of the dog shot, right?
Yeah. That's why we were late. I'll take the blame. That's why we were late today. No, but we're at Whispered. What's the address? 704
Norman
Estridge Highway, Seaford, Delaware.
19973.
That's what I didn't know. So we'll be here. We open at 6 and we'll be here until 1. Like I said, she has 2 shows tonight. Don't know what time they'll be. Just come and hang out and enjoy your fucking evening. And there's plenty of other
beautiful ladies to spend some time.
Yes.
Lots of fun things here.
Yes. And she's amazing. Amazing.
You're amazing.
I literally was
amazing. Oh, thank you.
I was sitting on the edge of the thing and I was like,
I know, you were hyping me up. So I could feel it in my soul. I was like,
nobody else, everybody was just in awe. And I was like, look at hey, yes, go girl, get it, yes.
You know how jaded I am about this whole
Yeah.
She impresses me.
Oh, Oh,
Listen, and you know how I am. Not too many people impress me. So I'm like, when I'm telling you, it was literally your strength to where you can hold yourself in one position in an extended form for like fucking 40 seconds.
Oh, I can do that. It's called laying down.
But
Yeah, for hours.
I just take a bunch of tequila shots and hope for the best.
it was amazing. Like, she put on a show. I have seen some features, but Matt has definitely seen a whole lot more than me. And this is not throwing any shade against any of the other ones, but you are by far one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
Callie is running in my second. Charzane is running my third.
It's a rare thing where you get a feature that has the technical ability to really excel on the pole
Mm-hmm.
and the personality to still interact with the audience.
Yes. And that's what I liked about you too, because a lot of features think, not saying they're too good, but a lot of them don't like to mingle with the crowd.
Mm.
I have noticed
Blinding
that.
me during the show.
Yeah.
Oh, like on the floor, like in between shows and stuff.
And she did this one thing, and I was just like, duh, that's like the smartest thing to do to get a whole lot of money. The cup.
Oh.
We'll do it again tonight. If you want to know what it is,
Yes, you have to come.
All
All I'm going to say is there's a cup involved.
Yeah.
I
only
cheated.
one girl.
Yeah,
only one girl.
Yeah, not two girls.
One cup and one girl.
Yeah,
That's it.
and me. Yeah, just me. Yeah.
I cheated, but I can do that. So I am going to link her social medias in the comments. You want to let them know where you're going to be next?
Yeah. So on April 14th and 15th, I will be in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Club Hustlers for a booking, and then a few days after that, April 19th through the 21st, I will be in Dallas, Texas for the Exotic Dancer Invitationals, the big competition at Bucks Cabaret and Bucks Wild.
Are you going there?
I am not.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're going, I'm going to go with you.
I wasn't invited.
Oh, you have to be invited?
No,
It's an invitation.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
shit.
feature game's not that good.
Badass. You go, girl.
Oh, no, you can come if you want.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I know.
I have to get to a competition because I haven't been to like one of the big ones, and I definitely want to go. I've been to some of them, but I definitely want to go to a big one.
There's one you might want to. Michelle, unfortunately, isn't doing it.
Yeah, I won't be able to do it.
But we'll talk about it off.
Yeah.
It'll be in September.
Okay.
In PA. So.
Okay. Are you going back up to the sister club?
Yeah.
Okay. We also have a sister club. If you want, I don't know. I know the name of it, but not all the information.
Mustang Sally's, 600 Montour Boulevard, Bloomsburg, PA, 17815.
That's our sister club. And they're full nude, right?
Yeah, so it's
BYOB. Yeah. So if you're in that area, you want to check them out, go ahead. But I hope you guys come down tonight and check out Michelle Lynn, because she is amazing. You will hear me in here screaming at the top of my lungs.
You will not be disappointed.
At all. I am going to try to get a couple videos of her tonight, because I was too busy staring at her and throwing money at her last night, so I didn't get any videos. So I am going to make sure I do that tonight. Renee says, Matt, everybody misses you, Matt. Kitty.
Come see me.
I can't wait to have Kitty on the show.
That'll be interesting.
That's going to be very interesting.
You think I have stories?
Oh, I know. Me and Kitty have a lot of stories together as well. But yeah, so yeah, Renee, if you're not doing anything, come down tonight if you can, because it would be awesome to see her. She's doing amazing. I don't know if you.
I mean, she keeps me pretty busy during the show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll have time to.
Yeah.
Mingle.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for saying
for
yes to the interview.
Yeah,
I was hoping and praying that you were saying yes for days upon days.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. Thank you.
And Matt, thank you for saying yes. I mean, I kind of knew you would say yes to me, but you know, thank you for saying yes. And thank you for joining in. I wasn't sure if I was going to do them separate or not, but I think this worked out good.
Yeah, thank you.
So, next week, we will have another episode, I believe Thursday. And I think it's going to be some of my family members to discuss how they felt about me being in the industry. That's going to be interesting. Some of them were okay, some of them were okay. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for joining me, as always. Don't forget to tell the truth.
Like the
whole
channel,
truth.
subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Hit that notification bell.
I always forget to say all that shit. You know that? Everybody yells at me because they're like, in between you're talking, you're supposed to say that. And I'm like, I want to talk. But I'm gonna work on that. But don't forget to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the whole truth.
Yay! Well, thank you.
Wait, one last question.
Go ahead, you
We
can
have
talk.
time?
Yeah, while I get this situated, because it takes me a minute to get over there and turn it off.
What was the question that was brewing in the back of your mind, Jess, that you wanted to ask her about? Do you want me to just ask her?
I don't remember what it was.
What advice would you give
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
your past self?
Yes.
Like if you could go back, it's been 13 years.
Yeah.
If you could go back 13 years, what advice
Would you give yourself? Your younger self?
I would say don't overthink things, and what everyone thinks about you, because you're not for everyone,
Oh,
like,
I love that.
yeah, it's just no matter how hard you try and what you do, it's just, you're not always going to be someone's favorite. Save your money. Yeah.
What would you tell your younger self?
Don't eat that.
I knew he was gonna say something funny. Don't eat that. That's a good one too, though. Because I've eaten some shit I'm supposed to. I totally forgot about that question. That was one question that I wanted to ask. It was. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good advice to tell yourself. Save your
And
money
this
is
comes from an
definitely.
overthinker.
And I do.
Yeah.
I overthink everything.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I
and
do
sometimes
too.
it's just not as serious as
Yeah.
my brain makes it out to be. And it's
Yep.
just like, all right, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But save money definitely.
Mhm.
Because if I would have known that back then, I'd be a rich little bitch right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us. See you guys.